Hey friends, Donovan here with FretSpot.com. I get a lot of questions from time to time about what my recording setup is and how I basically record and what interfaces I use and how I loop and sample software and all that kind of stuff. So I figured I would just make a quick video showing what I do. Over the years, I've used a lot of different things to record. I mean, some of the early videos were I used a Windows computer and would use like a looper, a Boss looper or something like that. The last several years, though, I've used a MacBook Pro and GarageBand to do the loops, and I've been I'll use like a QuickTime Player to record the screen portions. But the big thing for getting the bass in, I've been using this Apogee Jam. I picked this up, I don't know, maybe a year or 2 years ago, something like that. Can't remember exactly when. This thing's really cool. They're about $100, and you just plug in your bass there, and then it's got an out here, and they come standard with two different cables. One that's a USB cable to use it with a laptop or whatever, but the other cable so you can use it with an iPhone or an iPad or any of those iDevices, which is really slick. To be honest with you, I think I've messed with it once on the iPad. I pretty much always just use the MacBook. But this is like a really high quality, clean sounding interface. Whereas like some of the cheaper ones that you see for like iPhones and stuff, they're really noisy and they're not suitable for recording. But this one is very quiet, and Apogee is known for really high quality hardware. This particular unit also has a gain control on the side. There's an LED here that when you're playing through it, if everything's good, you get a green light. Yellow if it starts getting a little hot, and then red if it gets overloaded. Standard, kind of interface type feedback there. So, but this is really cool. Sometimes I'll also use a Line 6 UX2 device. The downside with using this, and I'll show you a little more of my setup here in just a minute, but the downside of this is I can only really do one input at a time, and that's why on most of my videos you see me talk first and show equipment and basses and so on and so forth, and then I play later, and while I'm playing you don't hear me talking or anything like that, and that's because this device here is, the bass is just going direct and there's no audio from the webcam camera. So if I want to be able to speak while I'm playing, then a lot of times I use that UX2, and I use one input for the bass, and I use the second input, I'll just hook up some kind of microphone to it. And but often if I'm doing that, I'll turn the microphone on and off. Like if I'm going to speak, I'll turn the microphone up so you can hear it, but then when I'm playing, I turn it off just so you don't hear like the string noise and kids running around screaming and crying and yelling and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, but so that's that. That's the hardware. Now let me switch over and I'll show you what I use for the software side of it. So what you're seeing here is the GarageBand window. I kind of have a standard loop that I use here. So I'll click this one, and there's other. If you use Windows, there's other Windows software and stuff you can use. I just use GarageBand because it's easy, and I'm certainly not going to turn this into a GarageBand tutorial, but just give you a quick run through of how I get started with it. Anyways, so here you'll have this thing in here, and I'll have, this is a drum loop up here and some bass line that I must have recorded at some time in the past. And then the key, though, is to get video and audio at the same time is where it gets a little tricky. So to do that, I use this program down here called Soundflower. And so you click that and get that running. That'll then show up here. And what Soundflower allows you to do is to be able to loop all the sounds from various inputs on your system so that it's coming out through the main audio. That allows me to take that Apogee Jam, record it into this, and then have GarageBand looping back while the Apogee Jam is still live and the audio and video being captured through QuickTime Recorder here. So anyways, to get that to work, you come over here and we use the built-in outputs. We'll select that, and then we have to go to Audio Setup, and we wait for that to come up. We come over here to Soundflower 2 channel, which is all we need, and then you right click on that and select use this device for sound input, then you'll have to right click again and then use this device for sound output, and then you'll have it. Now I'm not going to do that right now because I'm doing a screencast, and if I do that it'll screw everything up. So anyway, but at that point that'll reroute all the sound through that. And then we come over to QuickTime Player, and if we do a new movie recording, I'm not sure if this will work while I'm doing a screen recording. We'll see. This is really interesting. Wow, this is freaky. Okay, so then you come over here to this drop down, and we would select the Soundflower setting here. And at that point, GarageBand and gosh, this is really creeping me out. GarageBand and the Apogee Jam are both coming through the sound card and then being captured by QuickTime. So anyway, so that's how we handle this that other part. Now, if you want to learn how to do loops and other stuff like that in GarageBand, that's on your own to kind of figure that one out. You can Google that and check it out. So there you go. I hope that helped and that you found it useful. If you have any other questions or ideas or suggestions, feel free to leave them in comments. And as always, my friends, I appreciate you watching. Take care. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.